Good evening and welcome. We call to order this regularly scheduled meeting of the Norman Public Schools Board of Education. Ms. Sasser, will you please call the roll? Here. Here.
Here. Here.
Please rise as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Mayorino, will you take our first agenda item, please?
As we all know that we have not a new board member, but we did have a vote, and I want to start off by saying, first a thank you to all of those people who choose to serve and throw their name in the hat to serve as a public board of education member, because all the time and effort that goes into it and the responsibility that's put upon you, it's not always seen. So, and all the work you do behind the scenes. So I want to say thank you to all of you first, but then also would like to congratulate Mr. Dirk O'Hara for winning this election for seat office one, to represent Norman Public Schools on the state board. So, do we have the results? So we have the results. I don't think we don't read these, but we have the results here, and it has been certified that Dirk O'Hara, well, I guess I will read, with 1,473 votes, defeated Pixie Nicole Quigley with 1,036 votes. So with that, this has been certified, and welcome back on the board.
Ms. Nasher, do we have a motion for
Yes, but before I go there, President O'Hara, I want to just say, as a board member, I appreciate all your hard work this last year during a pandemic. We had a very difficult year, and I don't think we could have done it without you, so I just want to commend you for all your efforts and say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And with that, I would like to make a motion to elect Dr. Dan Snell as president of the Board of Education.
Second.
Is there any discussion besides from Dr. Snell?
Dr. Snell doesn't get to speak.
Ms. Sasser, you please call the roll.
Dirk O'Hara?
Yes.
Dan Snell?
Yes.
Cindy Nasher?
Yes.
Linda Sexton?
Yes.
Should we do this last one?
Yes. No, really.
Here. Why don't we do them all and then move once?
Well, I think we're going to move anyway. Oh, I hope. I guess I shouldn't assume that.
Somebody told me to move. He was going to sit in my chair. So I moved. Well, I would like to nominate Ms. Cindy Nasher as vice president of the board.
Second.
Discussion. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Dr. Dan Snell?
Yes.
Cindy Nasher?
Yes.
Linda Sexton?
You didn't give us time for discussion. I just want to say that
I did give you time.
You said, yes, you said discussion. But anyway, I wasn't fast enough. So I just want to tell you that it is a pleasure. It has been a pleasure to work with Dirk, and it is a pleasure to work with you also and Dan on this board. We have people who are always student-centered, always teacher-centered, and always community-centered working on this board, and it's a pleasure to work with you all. So now I say yes? Yes.
Yes.
Dirk O'Hara?
Hey, it is so established. Congratulations. And we also have other officers as required by law. Is there a motion for that?
Yes. I will make a motion that we elect clerk of the board, first deputy clerk of the board, second deputy clerk of the board, minute clerk, first deputy minute clerk, second deputy minute clerk, encumbrance clerk, deputy encumbrance clerk, and treasurer and deputy treasurer. And do you want me to name their names now that I see it
No,
down
it's in
here?
the record. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Dan Snow,
Yes.
Cindy Nasher,
Yes.
Linda Sexton,
Yes.
Dirk O'Hara.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, now we get to the fun part, these awards presentations. People actually here for the first time for a long time. And we start with Scott Beck. What is he saying?
Mr. President, Dr. Mayorino, and members of the
Dr.
board.
Beck, could you come up? Oh, sure. Yeah. Like seeing you on the TV. Yes, thank you.
Sure. Mr. President, Dr. Mayorino, members of the board, we are extremely excited to have some students here in the flesh tonight that we're going to recognize a host of amazing, incredible students. So our first award are our Oklahoma Foundation for Excellence Academic All-Staters. I will tell you, students, you will be receiving a certificate from your principal. We won't be handing you a certificate this evening, but we are going to ask that you come forward, be recognized by your principal, and we're so grateful that you're here along with your parents. The Oklahoma Foundation for Excellence has announced the recipients of the prestigious 2020 Academic All-State Awards. These 100 top public high school seniors from across the state of Oklahoma are selected based on academic achievement, extracurricular activities, and community involvement, as well as letters of recommendation and an essay submitted by each nominee. At this time, please join me in welcoming our two high school principals, Mr. David Jackson from Norman High School and Dr. Christy Gray from Norman North High School, to recognize our state-leading 6 academic all-staters from the Norman Public Schools.
The first Academic All-State Award from Norman High School goes to Elliot Metz. Elliot is with his parents, John Metz and Loretta Bass. His favorite subject is physics. He plays the harp, and he intends to attend the U.S. Air Force Academy.
And Mr. Jackson, as before you go into the next one, instead of that picture, we can have the students move over to the side and stay up here, and then when the whole group gets up here, we'll take group pictures as well.
Okay, awesome. Our second awardee is Miss Ellie Simon. She's represented here also by her parents, Daniela and Alva Simon. Favorite subject is biology. She intends to pursue a career and PhD in evolutionary biology and ecology at the University of Hawaii or the University of Washington. Fun fact, she has accepted and been applied and accepted to 23 universities. Okay, she's not here. So here we go.
Hi, good evening. I would like to recognize our Norman North Oklahoma Foundation for Excellence Academic All-Staters. And I'd like to start with Madeline Holloway. Madeline, if you'll come on up. Madeline is planning to go to OSU, and she is going to major in natural resource ecology and management. And I would also like to recognize Madeline's parents as well. Madeline. Next we have Shobi Jamil. Shobi, if you'll come on up. Shobi is currently deciding, oh, we're still taking pictures, sorry. It's been a minute since we've gotten to do this. I forgot to pause. Shobi is currently deciding between Rice or Dartmouth and plans to major in biology, and he is here with his mom, and I would like to recognize her as well.
And since it has been a minute since we've done these, parents, do not be shy to come up to the front and take pictures as well if you would like to.
And next we have Daniel Jensen. Daniel is planning to go to OU, and he is currently undecided about his major, and he is here with his mom and dad, and I would like to recognize them as well. Congratulations. And next we have Nick Papabasilio. Nick is here with his mom and dad, and he is currently undecided to where he is going to attend college, but he is going to major in computer science and economics. So congratulations, Nick and mom and dad. Right, and do we want to get all of our,
I'd like, I mean, we rarely get to have
Take a
Norman
group-
High and
let's take
Norman
a
North
group picture.
together,
You guys-
and principals get in there as well.
okay. This is the fun part of our job that we,
Haven't got to do in a long time. No, I'll let them. Actually, I will. I don't get to see kids much either, so.
Thank you, students. And so typically, this is a first for us as well, because typically at this point we would ask that everybody stays. We're not going to ask that everybody stays. So unless you are being recognized for something else, you're actually free to go ahead and exit at this time before we bring our next group in. Thank you for being here. We're so happy to see our academic all-staters. And you guys. That's right. If you're staying for another award, please stay. There are some repeats here. Okay. Our next group of honorees are our National Merit Scholarship finalists. Over 1.5 million juniors in about 21,000 high schools entered the 2021 National Merit Scholarship Program by taking the 2019 preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, which served as an initial screen of program entrance. Becoming a finalist placed students in an elite group representing less than 1% of graduating seniors nationwide. Again, to introduce our 13 National Merit finalists in the Norman Public Schools for this school year, Norman High School and Norman North principals David Jackson and Dr. Christy Gray.
Our first National Merit recognized student from Norman High School is first Isaac Atkins. He's represented with his by his parents Angela Atkins and Shannon Atkins. Isaac's favorite subject is chemistry. He plans to attend OU majoring in chemistry, and he is one of the 0.1/100th% of top Jimi Hendrix listeners on Spotify last year.
And what's your favorite Jimi Hendrix song?
Second, we have Ellie Simon. Also, she was not here earlier, so she was accepted to 23 universities and was looking to pursue a career in PhD in evolutionary biology and ecology at the University of Hawaii, University of Washington. So, again, recognize Ellie. Next up, we have Nathan Worth. He's represented by his parents Joseph and Emily Worth. Also, he plans to attend the Air Force Academy or OSU and study engineering. He says his brother was a National Merit finalist in 2016 from Norman North, and so he was a 7th grade at that time and made it a goal to be a National Merit finalist also. So congratulations to Nathan, even though he's not here. From Norman High School, our final National Merit finalist is Mr. Brian Yang. Okay, Brian is not here tonight, but he is represented by his parents Jason Yang and Sansuk Ko. His favorite subject is physics. He plans to pursue a degree in either computer science or bioengineering, and he loves basketball. So congratulations to Brian.
all right, from Norman North, we have Sage Abbott. Sage. And Sage is here with mom and dad, and she is going to attend OU and plans to major in computer engineering. Congratulations, Sage. Next, we have Reed Bodenhammer, and I think he was unable to attend tonight. Reed is planning to go to OU, and he is currently undecided about his major. So congratulations to Reed. Eliza Doyle. Eliza is here with her mom, so I'd like to recognize her as well. Eliza is currently undecided where she is going to attend college, but is planning to major in biomedical sciences. Congratulations. Shobi Jamil, if you will come on up again. Also would like to recognize his mom who is here with him. Shobi is determining to attend either Rice or Dartmouth and is planning on majoring in biology. And I would like to again recognize Mr. Daniel Jensen and his mom and dad. Daniel is planning to attend OU and is currently undecided about his major. Congratulations. And next we have Zoe Kelly. She was unable to join us tonight, but I would like to congratulate her. She is planning to attend OU and major in biology. Congratulations, Zoe. And next, again, we have Nicholas Papafacilio with his mom and dad. He is undecided what college he is going to attend, but is planning to major in computer science and economics. Congratulations, Nick. And our next two students, we have Logan Peltier. He was unable to join us tonight, but he is planning to attend the University of Alabama and major in mechanical engineering. Congratulations, Logan. And then we have Rayon Sadiq. Rayon is undecided where he's going to attend college, and he is planning to major in computer science. So I'd like to congratulate him, even though he's not able to join us. Congratulations, Rayon.
Picture time. A couple of you know how to do this. First and last, Nicholas here.
Okay, yes, we will have a little larger group here coming in. Next, we are going to recognize some of our amazing DECA State Conference placers and champions. DECA prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management in high schools and colleges around the globe. Authentically connecting students to the world outside of school, DECA launches students directly into their futures. So there's a long and proud tradition of excellence in these programs in our high schools. And with that, I'm going to introduce not just our high school principals, but also we have some teacher representation as well to talk about this amazing group of students.
And parents, if you want to fill down the sides, and you don't have to If you want to come down the side here, feel free to spread out a little bit if you'd like.
This year, Norman High School had 3 people who are actually teachers who invested in the students and for DECA, and they are Mr. Darren Rogers, Holly Austin, and Ashley Frazier. Ashley, there we go. So big thank you to them for their contribution in these students' success. So first of all, we're going to recognize Miss Mabel Hu. She was recognized and earned 7th place in Restaurant and Food Management Series. Mabel, are you here tonight? Come on forward. Mabel's parents are Tai Hu and Jenny Tu. Her favorite subject in science. She plans to major in business management OU and continue on a real estate journey, which she has her real estate license, I believe. She also plays 2 instruments, so congratulations, Mabel.
And students, as I said to the other group, when you come up here, when you're done, kind of scoot over to the side and we'll take a group picture at the end so parents can all come up. And parents, if you want to take individual pictures, feel free to walk up in the middle and take those as well.
Our next student from Norman High School DECA is Lily Bowen. Lily placed 7th place in Retail Merchandising Series. Her parents are Stephanie and Theodore Bowen. Her favorite subject is English. She plans to attend the University of Oklahoma studying marketing and advertising, and she loves the game of golf. Congratulations, Lily. Final student from Norman High DECA is Kaya Smith. She's here with her parents, Jared and Rachel Smith. Kaya placed 4th place in Hotel and Lodging Management Series. Favorite subject is science. Now her plans to attend a 4-year university major in nutritional science, and she is a classic rock aficionado. Congratulations, Kaya.
Hi, here this evening we have Mr. Jamie Wilson. Mr. Jamie Wilson is our DECA sponsor at Norman North. And a few things about Mr. Wilson, which I have a mic and I get to talk about Mr. Wilson. So this could be fun for me, Mr. Wilson. So first I would like to say Mr. Wilson has done a wonderful job growing the DECA program since he has came to Norman North. It has just really grown tremendously there as he's really created a great environment for the students, and they kind of become their own little DECA family, I feel like. He also has incredible Hawaiian shirt fashion sense, as you can tell, and he helps keep the extra pounds on Norman North staff as he serves those wonderful cookies every Tuesday and Friday in our building. But I would like for him to come up and introduce his students that are here this evening and the wonderful accomplishments that they have been able to achieve this year. Mr. Wilson.
Board, thank you very much. Mr. Superintendent, parents, family, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. You're very kind. DECA is a passion. It always has been. Our school started off really with no DECA program, selling cookies 4 days a week, and then we decided my first year, it's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So we made a few changes. We actually didn't start competing until my second year, and now that I'm in year 11, we've just gone and gone and gone, and it's kind of become its own monster, which I really, really appreciate what the kids do. The effort they put in, the work they put in, it's remarkable to me. And the leadership that we have that has grown out of DECA is simply amazing. So I'm very, very proud of these young adults, and they surprise me with just their attitudes every day. So I'm going to start. We have Wyatt Kelly. Wyatt was he competed in marketing communications, and he is a first-year competitor. Jumped right on board and decided that he wanted to compete, and was, I believe he got 6th place in the state. Another first-time competitor is Brady Fisher. Brady just jumped right in as a first-year kid, fairly quiet, but he raised his hand when it came time to really decide if he wanted to compete or not. And he competed in sports and entertainment marketing and did a fantastic job. He's such a good public speaker. The next one is Jed Files. Jed is a third-year DECA student. He competed last year as well, and he is simply amazing. Every time I listen to him do his competitions, it just blows my mind how far he's come. So he's done a great job. He competes in food and restaurant and food service management. Two other finalists, Jesse Flores and Julia Cliff, could not be here tonight. They both have prior engagements. Reagan Sexton. Reagan is a first-year competitor, a very active DECA person in my 6th hour. Loves colored shoes, amazing. And she competed in hotel and lodging management and took 3rd place at state this year. Parker Seibold is a senior, and he competed in entrepreneurship for the first time. He's a 2nd-year DECA student, and he ended up taking, sorry, I'm not an English major, so he took 3rd place in entrepreneurship. Shelby Chase is another person. She could not be here tonight. She took 3rd place as a first-year competitor in quick serve restaurant management. Dylan Carlson and his partner Cooper McGuire. Cooper had a prior engagement, couldn't be here. They competed in business law and ethics, one of the harder competitions just because of its nature of ethical decision making. First time competitors, and they took 3rd place. Our only 2nd place winner is Anna Scholes. She is also our DECA chapter president this year. She competed in quick serve restaurant management, and it's her, is this your 2nd year or 3rd year to compete? 3rd. So she's a definite returner, and the senior's going to graduate. I've loved having her in 2nd place. And she's gotten better every year, so that was her goal. Ava Wheeler and Natalie Pinnell, they were state champions in Community Giving Project. Their project was over our Spooktacular, and they did an amazing job with a written paper as well as a video presentation, which was simply amazing. Madeline Yates and Brooklyn Rhodes, they are also state champions in a project event called Sales Project. They had to manage our student store, which is called the North Place, and they did a remarkable paper on it and a presentation, and they also both serve as retail managers and take care of the store for us on a daily basis. Gabby Garza and Celine Regalado, they took state championship in hospitality services role play, and they are just amazingly good. It just blows my mind when I hear them present. The next underachiever is Mackenzie Bellino. She took 1st place in human resources management. It's a role play event, and 1st place in international business plan. and she is simply amazing. Her paper looks like a post-collegiate paper that she wrote. And she also served, Mackenzie, come back. She also served this past year as a vice president for Oklahoma DECA and was reelected to the same position for Oklahoma DECA for another term. So she's amazing. And the final person I was going to have come up is Grace Key. She just texted me a while ago, and she is unable to be here. She got her second COVID shot today and doesn't feel very good. But she got first place in food marketing. She also served as a vice president last year for Oklahoma DECA, but was elected to the president term for Oklahoma DECA for this upcoming year. So a lot of great students, and I'm proud to be their teacher. Thank you.
Jamie, you got to organize them for a picture, both schools.
Yeah, you got to be in that too. I think they could organize everybody.
Guys, come on up. We're going to take a group picture somehow. Girls, come up. Some of y'all come over here. Great job. Thanks. Thank you. Great job. Thank you for being here.
And one final student recognition for the evening. The student was not able to be here this evening. We still want to recognize her. Molalua Adebasoye is an Irving Middle School 7th grader and was recently named as one of 10 nationwide winners of the 2020 Tinker Holiday Code Jam for her game, Asterix. Tinker, an online programming curriculum, hosted the 2020 Holiday Code Jam, and students were asked to create a program following one of 6 prompts. Entries were judged on originality, creativity, advanced coding, and following the theme. Over 12,000 submissions were judged as a part of the contest, and 10 winners were selected from those submissions. Molalua was awarded a trophy, a T-shirt, a cash prize by Principal Jonathan Ashley, and Gateway Computer Science teacher Deidre Martin. Quite the accomplishment for Molalua. So, congratulations.
Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. Migliorino, members of the board. It is my honor this evening to shift into some employee recognitions, and we will begin with our finalists for the 2021 Lois K. Ansley Support Employee of the Year Award. 2 of our honored guests could not be with us this evening because of previous commitments, but I do want to recognize them as well. But we'll start with those who are here. First, I would like to recognize Angela Beyer, who is our District Sites Support Employee of the Year. Angela is currently Administrative Assistant for Student Services, Elementary Schools. She's been with Norman Public Schools in a variety of capacities for 11 years, and we are honored to have Angela representing our district sites. From Health Services, we have Molly Spakinger. Molly is currently the licensed practical nurse, LPN, at Alcott Middle School. She's been with Norman Public Schools for 3 years, and I cannot think of a year, Molly, that someone from Health Services should be recognized for a District Support Employee of the Year award. From our school sites, so we had nominees from all of our school sites, and we had to narrow that to one school site representative. Our school site support employee of the year award is Lolita Castro de Webb from McKinley Elementary School. I suspect if you've called McKinley, you have spoken to Lolita. She is currently their health assistant, oftentimes helping out at the front desk as well, and she has been with Norman Public Schools for 5 years.
Carol, get in the middle, right up front. I would hear it later if you didn't.
And from Technology Services, we have Michael Edelman. Michael is currently the administrative assistant to the chief technology officer, who is the one cheering the loudest because she has to take care of Dr. Liesenfeld and his staff every day. She has been with Norman Public Schools for 2 years. In addition to these 4 finalists, we also have from Central Services, Johnny Finley. Johnny works in our utilities department for the district. He maintains athletic fields, he paints, he does upkeep at Norman High School. He also manages and maintains the parking lots to keep them free of trash. He mows and helps with just about anything anyone asks, and he's been with Norman Public Schools for 3 years. So though he's not here, we want to recognize Johnny Finley. And from Transportation, Tricia Schertler. Tricia is a router at Transportation, and she has been with the district for 3 years as well. Congratulations to all of you. And here come their parents, their principals. Who will knock each other out of the way for a shot. Very proud. We will be revealing the winner at the Celebration of Excellence banquet in just a couple of weeks. So we will look forward to seeing you all then as well. Thank you.
Do we need to introduce you, Gayla?
Well, of course.
This is the fabulous Gayla Mears of Special Services.
Thank you. Okay, so I have some special guests. Principal Esselin, I just want to acknowledge you, and then, of course, Miss Briley, who's chosen to sit right here. Okay, I'm sorry. Special guests, we have Principal Esselin, just wanted to acknowledge you, and also Mrs. Elizabeth Briley, who will recognize, but since I have a little bit to read, she would prefer to stay seated at that time, if that's okay with the board. Okay. Mr. President, members of the board, Dr. Migliorino, I am thankful to be in a district that celebrates our amazing teachers. I am also thankful to work with Mrs. Elizabeth Briley. I am honored to be given the chance to introduce her for recognition as the Norman Public Schools Special Education Teacher of the Year. I would also like to thank Mr. Scott Martin and his family for sponsoring the Special Education Teacher of the Year Award each year for our district. Last week, Mr. Martin and his family were able to join our Special Services team at an in-person, socially distanced, and mask-wearing faculty meeting at Truman Primary to notify Mrs. Briley she was selected as our District Special Education Teacher of the Year. She will also be recognized at our District Celebration of Excellence on April 22nd. Mrs. Briley has been a part of our district for over 20 years. She served as a substitute teacher for 10 years and then was hired as a paraprofessional at Truman Primary in 2011. To serve the students in our multiple disabilities program. After 3 years, Mrs. Briley moved into her current assignment as the teacher of these same students in that same program where she has been for the last 7 years. Mrs. Briley was nominated for this award by her principal, Mrs. Christy Eslin. Already acknowledged. Thank you, Christy. I would like to share a few words from her that were shared on her nomination with you now. This year, Mrs. Briley's caseload consists of students who are in person and come to the classroom each day, others who are learning virtually at home, and she has also been providing homebound instruction for another child. The students in her class have multiple disabilities, but Elizabeth challenges them to work to their potential and has high expectations for them. She's very aware of what they need to be successful and independent with basic life skills. Her love and passion for her students is evident when one enters her classroom. Elizabeth can be seen interacting with her students in whole class and individual activities. She is masterful at taking grade level standards and adapting them in interactive opportunities for her students. She works countless hours to create plans and materials to support the physical, medical, and cognitive needs of her students. The majority of her students are nonverbal, and she finds ways for them to communicate with her and others by using technology switches, eye gazes, and facial expressions. Elizabeth collaborates with other adults who provide related services to her students. She follows the leads of our speech pathologists, hearing and visual teachers, occupational therapists, and physical therapists as they guide her with best practices for the students' movement, feeding, sight, sounds, or other areas of focus. Those students doing school at home are provided with videos, materials, and instructions for their parents who are serving as their learning coaches. She collaborates with these families to make sure they have what they need to keep their child engaged and connected to the classroom happenings. When asked, one of her colleagues shared the following: "I'm not sure that words do her justice. She's such a leader in her field. The pandemic has her doing multiple jobs at once, and she still does it with a smile on her face. The love and dedication she has for her students is inspiring, from making videos for her home students to spending hours in the car dropping off materials for them. She truly is one of a kind, and we are lucky to call her a friend, colleague, and role model. As Director of Special Services, I believe it is Mrs. Briley's commitment to her students, families, and colleagues that make her so amazing and so very worthy of this award. Furthermore, I know Mrs. Briley is perfectly happy to do everything she does without any public recognition, which is why I think it's very important to publicly thank her for her work this evening." Mrs. Briley, would you mind coming up and receiving your certificate?
You get to be a part of this picture.
Oh, thank you, Nick.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Dr. Migliorino. Tonight, I would like to introduce our Rookie Teacher of the Year finalist. The Rookie Teacher of the Year program was launched in 2016. The goal of this program is to recognize first-year teachers who exemplify excellence and innovation in teaching and to encourage them to stay in the profession. These teachers demonstrate the outstanding qualities that we want recognized in the Norman Public Schools that align with our core values of collaboration, inclusiveness, integrity, and optimism. Rookie Teachers of the Year are nominated by their building principals, and letters of support are submitted on their behalf from either a colleague, parent, or student. On March 10th, the District Staff Development Committee read the nominations and letters of support and selected 3 finalists for Rookie Teacher of the Year. These 3 teachers then met and interviewed with the committee on March 24th. One of these 3 finalists will be named as the District Rookie Teacher of the Year at the Celebration of Excellence on April 22nd. We want to congratulate these standout rookie teachers. Please know that your work has not gone unnoticed. Finalists are Connor Jackson from Cleveland Elementary, 2nd grade. And it looks like Connor has Mrs. Bowie here this evening to cheer him on.
Yeah, you got to move over, Connor.
Yes, we'll get a group photo in a moment. We also have Carly Williamson from Eisenhower Elementary, 5th grade, and it looks like both Miss Eichel and Miss Shepherd are here.
So only one of you taking a picture?
Yes, both of her parents are here. And finally, Morgan Dragg from Monroe Elementary, and Morgan teaches 1st grade. And it looks like she brought both of her parents as well. Group picture. Congratulations. I would also like to recognize our District Teacher of the Year finalist. Teacher of the Year is a program of the Office of the Superintendent, sponsored by the State Superintendent of Public Instruction and coordinated by the local Office of Staff Development and the District Staff Development Committee. The program is designed to select those teachers who exemplify the finest in our profession and who can communicate the importance of teaching to other educators and our community. Our district and site teachers of the year perform an important role as we strive to promote the excellence that exists in the Norman Public Schools. Each site teacher of the year goes through a process of creating a portfolio and interviewing with the Staff Development Committee. Interviews were conducted on February 17th and 18th, and the District Teacher of the Year finalists were selected for 2021. One of these finalists will be named Norman District Teacher of the Year at the Celebration of Excellence banquet to be held on April 22nd. We are very proud of these teachers. They represent the quality, dedication, and professionalism of all teachers in the Norman Public Schools. So we will start with Erin Carpenter from McKinley Elementary. She teaches kindergarten and 2nd grade virtually, 1 year in her current position and 7 years total experience. And there is her proud principal. From Roosevelt Elementary, Meredith Ziegler. Meredith teaches music, 4 years in her current position and 11 total years of experience. From Truman Elementary, Juan Renteria. Juan teaches 5th grade, 6 years in his current position, and 6 total years experience. From Alcott Middle School, Kathy Outlaw. Kathy teaches 8th grade English Language Arts, 5 years in her current position and 10 total years experience. And unfortunately, Stephanie Young from Longfellow couldn't be with us this evening. She teaches special education, 10 years in her current position, 16 total years. She's actually a student in a classroom this evening.
Was that not awesome? Oh my gosh.
I'd like to thank
There are
the
people.
Staff Development Committee, including our head of that, and I happen to know Cindy was there a lot.
Yes, and you know, it's such a privilege, Beth and Julie, to be on this committee. And I'm sitting here throughout this process wishing every one of those dear people could be the winner, but I'll tell you what, our kids are the winners. So that's what's all important. So thanks for all your hard work with this Zoom and me and my computer, and so it's a great experience, so thanks.
Right, thank you for everyone who actually came. And now we have public communication. It looks like we have but one. And we remind you that we must limit our public communication to 30 minutes per person. You'll be given a 1-minute warning at the end of the period. And board members cannot respond to questions during public communications, but we do listen. So our first and only person is Juliana Kirshen. Could you come to the mic and tell us what's on your mind?
I'm Juliana Kirshen, and I live at 1120 Berry Circle. And board members, president of the board, Superintendent Migliorino, as you know, I spoke last month about enrollment, and I want to tell you that I was able to speak with President O'Hara and Dr. Beck, and I really appreciate that the district, is doing their best and making efforts to reach out to many families so that they can understand how to re-enroll and re-engage in the process after the very challenging year we've had. So I wanted to acknowledge that and share that with you. I also want to congratulate Mr. O'Hara on his election. I'm one of his constituents, and so I look forward to working with him in this process, and I want to congratulate Mr. Still on being the new president for the board. And I hope that as we move beyond this COVID crisis, obviously COVID's not going anywhere, but the crisis part of it, right? That we can continue to focus our work on equitable children's opportunities to learn, academic achievement, and promoting teaching excellence. And we've, of course, seen that tonight as We've seen our amazing teachers and the work that they produce with their students and those students' families. And so when I looked at the agenda, I just decided I had to come and share those things with you. I was going to speak specifically on the technology purchases, which is what I wrote on my comment card. And so with the idea that we're going to be moving forward together, I want you to continue to raise questions about those kinds of purchases, because they do have effects in classroom instruction. And I want us to think carefully about how we spend our money. As we know, money is going to become tighter and tighter. And so I was able to talk with Mr. O'Hara, President O'Hara, about some of those ideas, and I look forward to continuing those conversations. And I urge you as board members to ask those questions publicly, not after you've consented to the purchases, but before and publicly, so that parents understand the vision for how those applications and contracts are going to be used, especially those that affect children's privacy and family privacy. And then finally, I want to raise with you the issue of a stipend for COVID vaccines for our teachers, our faculty, and staff. All of you, of course, have survived an incredibly challenging year. And as we look at our fellow districts, Moore, Oklahoma City, even Santa Fe South Charter Schools, and I hope that you will consider that use of some of our COVID funds as a way to build morale, as a way to honor all of the many staff and teachers that have worked for us this year. And I really believe that Norman Public Schools is a leader in our state, and that's one way we can continue to show our leadership and inspire other districts to join us in honoring our amazing faculty and staff. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Not about the public comment.
Right.
But public meeting, we cannot shut all the doors. So I just wanted to, I didn't want you to think I was saying no, Juliana, to you up there. I was shaking my head, and because she was, okay, so the door was being shut, and like we can't do that. So that's it.
Okay. Are there motions about routine business, which we've studied over the weekend?
I would like to make one. We
okay.
do want to, I would like to request that
yes.
we strike item 16 because of questions that have come up. I think this will be a great presentation to bring back to the next board meeting, because this is an item that is centered around safety and security of students, and it has come from the principal level up to the district, and this is the first year looking at it, the district was jumping in and going to support. But with the questions that have come, I think it would be a great opportunity to just do a public presentation on what this is to the board. So that would be the rationale behind striking that.
So I'm sorry, item number 16 is what? Yeah, I don't see a 16. Oh, 6E, got it. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve items A through J, excluding number E, letter E, excuse me, yes.
No,
is that right?
That is,
so E is the investment report.
Excuse me, I said it incorrectly. Under
It's-
purchase requests, item 6C16. I just have it highlighted, starred, underlined, and circled. But
okay,
I
so
wrote at the
purchase.
top 6E. So,
We good?
Brenda, do we know what we're doing?
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
This one, right?
So I'm going to make a motion that we approve consent items A through J, excluding 6C-16.
Further discussion? No. Okay, clerk call the roll, please.
Dan Snell?
Yes.
Cindy Nassar?
Yes.
Linda Sexton?
Yes.
Dirk O'Hara?
Yes.
Okay, so accepted. Additional agenda items. Nick, tell us about this.
Give me just a second to scroll down here. Quite a few pages here. Members of the board, I've shared information with you in regards to this. Also, you've obviously watched the news and seen different things that have taken place recently with the State Board of Education and how that might affect public school funding. And this is a preemptive move, and I hope it doesn't come to litigation, but Norman Public Schools, myself, superintendents around the state have been working together and want to really come together and express what we believe is the unconstitutionality of the move of this Oklahoma State Board of Education recently, and I believe it was on March 25th when they made that motion and passed the rule, which you have. I mean, it's on the web, it's everywhere. But I would like your permission, if needed, that Norman Public Schools join in with many other school districts in filing a suit to hopefully keep public school monies, which we're talking tens of millions of dollars, that could be directed away from public schools. So that is my request.
So moved.
Second, and I don't only want to hope we vote permission, I will say that I would encourage it.
Right. Do we know the cost? I suppose we don't yet.
Depending on the number of school districts, it'll be divided evenly based on ADM and size of the district, but relatively no more than it'll be capped at no more than $1 per student for any district, but depending on the numbers and the total cost, just do the other math.
I would hope and I would think that you're going to be approaching the Attorney General, because this is clearly against the law that was written and passed by the legislature. So let's let them fight our legal battle for us and not have to pay for it if we don't have to.
That would be the hope. And I want to also thank, Oklahoma City Public Schools and Tulsa. They were initially in this, and they have already filed. Last week, there were other school districts that have jumped in, and their board members have said similar things. And absolutely, this is a last-ditch effort. You would hope the governor would do the right thing. You would hope the legislature would have the ability to do the right thing. I would actually love that the State Board of Education rescind their motion and vote and do the right thing. But, one of our core values is optimism, and I'm going to be optimistic, but we'll see.
Okay. Further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Dan Snell.
Yes.
Cindy Nasher.
Yes.
Linda Sexton.
Yes?
Dirk O'Hara.
Yes.
All right. Much more pleasant thing, I think. Professional learning. Here we are. What do we know, Beth?
I have to tell you, it's a pleasure to be back with you this evening. I've missed several meetings, and so I'm grateful to be here in front of you and sharing with you the results of our 2021 Professional Learning Survey. As you know, this is an annual survey, and the purpose is to gather data and information that will help us with our strategic planning for the coming year. And I'm not telling you anything different. This has been a unique year. Norman Public Schools, professional learning is at the core of what we do. And in this year, we have not been able to provide some of the traditional professional learning that we typically do, because we were doing our best to keep our teachers in the classroom. And our teachers were doing their best to keep their heads above water. And they were in and out of quarantine, and they had students in and out of quarantine. So that was reflected in this year's survey, that it was not a typical year. And so as I share these results, I think that you will see that. Something also that was very interesting, as district leadership was out visiting sites, also in our advisories and our teacher councils, some of the same things that I will share with you this evening came up in those very settings as well. So it wasn't just reflected in this survey. Tonight I will share with you results from not only the survey that we sent to our certified staff, but last year we also started polling our support staff as well to see what their needs were. So you'll notice on this slide it says response rate for certified. So of our certified staff, we have 1,197 on the count. We had 59% of our elementary teachers respond, the total number that responded was 716 out of those 1,197. Our goal is always 100%. You want to hear every voice. I have to tell you, I was so excited because this year we were up by almost 100, close to 100 more teachers responded this year than last. So 59% of those responding were elementary teachers, 39% were secondary teachers, and then we had 2% of the respondents, which equals to about 19 district-level administrators, okay? So I don't want you to think that that's a small, it's a small group, district-level leadership. Of the certified staff that responded, 18% of them had 1 to 3 years of experience, 26% had 4 to 10 years of experience, and 56% had 11 or more years of experience. This is pretty typical, that it's the more seasoned teachers that typically respond to this survey. So now let's look at the response rate from support staff. We, last year, had 372 of our support staff respond to the survey. This year, of our 699 support staff, we had 403 respond. So again, a greater response rate from our support staff as well. And I greatly appreciate that because we read every single comment that is written in, as well as look at those, the wants and wishes that they share with us.
This might also indicate that they know that we read them and respond.
That was my thought as well. And this one's a little bit flipped on the support staff, where on the certified survey, the more seasoned teachers have the greater response rate. This didn't appear to be the case with our support staff. 36% of those that responded had 1 to 3 years of experience, 35% 4 to 10 years, and 29% 11 or more years. So what do we do with the results? Well, again, I said it helps us with our strategic planning. That's a pretty important piece. But we look at this at the district leadership level, share it with the Board of Education. We also will share results with site leadership tomorrow at our admin and instructional staff meeting. We share this with curriculum team, with federal programs, with the staff development committee, with innovative learning coaches, any and all that help with the professional development of our teachers and support staff in the district. So no surprise here when you look at these numbers. If you look at the highest bars, we had 65% of our respondents, and this is on the certified survey, said that they wanted additional training in culturally responsive education. And I'm going to scan across the top at the highest percentages. You've got 63% that wanted additional training on trauma-informed teaching, 62% teaching with technology, 57% teaching for equity, and then you can see the other areas. These are all district initiatives that are tied directly to the strategic plan. So all of these things are important. And this training will be and will continue to be focused in these areas. But I want you to know that we are currently, you look at the highest bars, we are currently working on equity and culturally responsive education. Stephanie Williams, here in the room with us tonight, is working to help sites identify equity champions. And so those wheels are already in motion. And this is not, none of the training we do is one and done. It's revisiting it and making sure that our teachers are equipped to step in those classrooms. Additionally, the trauma piece. I meet regularly with Sharon Haitley and Gayla Mears to talk about our next steps and what a traumatic year we have had. So again, wheels are in motion for some summer things, and I'm going to talk to you about that here in a moment. And then, of course, the technology, teaching with technology. We have a great amount of training that we will be offering this summer on teaching with technology. We will be providing training to those that are interested on Seesaw and Canvas, MacBook and iPad Basics, as well as Google Workspace, and then Apple Suite. So busy time. Now for the professional development needs of our support staff. Look at that first bar. Of the 400 teachers or support staff that responded, 99% requested additional training on behavior management of students. 99%. And we're talking support staff that includes your classroom teaching assistants. It could be a secretary. It could be a bus driver. It could be a maintenance worker. 99% want additional training on behavior management of students. Additionally, you can see the standout is trauma and resilience. Again, it speaks to our year. There was also interest in safety and security, Google Suite training, math book training. You can see all of those. Again, these are all things that the district works on. And I will tell you, this year, due to COVID, we knew we needed, these were some of the same requests that support staff had last year. And so this was the first year that we launched PD on demand, where we actually did training this year on several of these topics. We did a training on handling difficult students. We did training on trauma and resilience, and on school status, and on Google Suite. And we offered them real time, but we recorded those trainings and posted them in the staff portal so that anyone could access them at any time of the day, because sometimes it just doesn't fall during your workday. Maybe it's 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. if you've got a night owl out there that wants to learn a bit more and improve themselves. So those have become available, and we will continue to work on those. But what I found interesting, where they write in additional requests for training, our support staff also requested training on mental health needs of students and staff, diversity and inclusion, working with students with special needs, and the first time that I've ever seen this, a request for basic Spanish so that front office staff could communicate with patrons. I thought, ooh, I'll be making a phone call to Janet Gordon. We'll see what we can get in the works for them.
Hey, Beth, what falls into the safety and security training? What is that?
Well, they're wanting training on safety and security.
I know, but
I think that this is a conversation that I need to get with Justin and our new gentleman's name, sorry, David. I almost called him Mike, and I was like, I don't think it's Mike, David. I think we need to talk about that. I think that the feelings here from this one came from COVID, and are we safe and are we secure in our work environment? And I think we've done a good job, a really good job with that this year. But it's always something I think that they want to revisit and make sure that everybody's doing everything that they need. I think there's work to be done.
Well, I mean, that's the third highest category, so I'd just be curious what falls into that bucket, what their thoughts were, just whenever. Thank you.
We also ask our teachers what inhibits them from attending professional development. Well, of course, this year, straight out of the barrel, it's COVID. And like I said at the beginning, we weren't able to offer some of the traditional PD because we weren't bringing large groups together. We weren't taking teachers and putting them in other teachers' classrooms in other buildings, which is something we typically do to help them grow and learn from other teachers. So COVID was the main inhibitor this year. Of course, time, lack of guest teachers. We did offer a few things for teachers virtually. We did some Zoom trainings, and teachers would still need to be out of their classrooms. Well, they didn't want to. Teachers this year, there was a feeling of, I need to be in my class with my students because kids are in and out, teachers are in and out. I can't afford to be gone again. And so teachers just really expressed overall that there were a lot of factors that limited them from participating in PD this year. And I will tell you, we give them an option on this survey every year to write in. This is where they share any other frustration, anything that they want. And I will tell you that the day that I sat on my couch, it was on a weekend, and I read through every single comment, I just had this very heavy, heavy, heavy feeling because there was such a cry for self-care and for additional help for teachers to get through this year, this most difficult year. And there were hints of depression, mental health needs of teachers, need for coping mechanisms, employee trauma. And so we typically take this survey and we help build our summer and our next year PD. But after I'd read through it, I went into cabinet the following Monday and I said, we can't wait. And this was the piece when we started talking in cabinet that I was told, these are the same things that we're hearing when we're out at the sites. These are the same things that we're hearing in our advisories and in our teacher councils. Teachers have had a very difficult year. And so I then met with Sharon Hately, Gayla Mears, Holly McKinney, and we started talking and planning on our immediate response. And then, of course, you think about professional development, and you think about the goal to improve our classroom teachers so that they can improve instruction. This year we've discovered the need to provide professional learning that will help our teachers become healthier professionals. We need them to be the best versions of themselves before they can ever begin to impact the students. And so that will be our goal from now until the end of the year. I reached out at Sharon Hately's advice to Teresa Capps, and I don't know if you are familiar with Teresa Capps, but she's a licensed professional counselor at the Mental Health Center. She works very closely with a lot of our students. And when I was sharing this with her and asking her for advice, she said, Beth, she said, the first thing we need to do is dispel the myth that this is a Norman Public Schools issue. She said this is a state issue, a national issue. It's worldwide that teachers, that educators are feeling this. She said, so that's the first thing we need to do. And then we need to focus on what we can do to get them through this year, and then how we can provide the support moving forward into next year and then on. So I'm excited about some of the things that we have started to talk about and discuss about self-care for educators and letting them know they're not alone. We need to be teaching deep breathing, and I think this actually came up. It may have been you, Linda, at last year's strategic planning day. We talked about this. And so these are all things that I think that are really important, teaching teachers to self-regulate. We want them to be well. What can we do to help with that overall wellness? And then also, we have the Employee Assistance Program that rolled out in February of 2020. Nick has put this information about the Employee Assistance Program in the newsletter, I believe on more than one occasion. And I know that it has been communicated to staff other ways. I think sometimes, though, when they see that, if they're not in distress at that moment, it doesn't sink. And so we're going to make a better effort to really make sure that our educators, that our staff, certified in support, are aware of that Employee Assistance Program. I learned today that we have had 52 employees who have gone through the Employee Assistance Program, which is wonderful, but I know that there are more. And so making sure that they're aware of that resource. And then also visited with Sharon Hately today about mental health first aid and providing some training this summer to any of our support staff or certified staff that want to attend. So we've got things planned, things that will be coming, hopefully things that will help our staff get from here to the end of this most difficult year. Any questions?
My question is, we can't access this on our computers. Can we get access?
Did we not get the presentation mode? No.
Was it not
Yes, we'll
linked?
get it to you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks for this. I think it's not just teachers, of course. The only people not really stressed are retirees. Although we worry about other people, of course.
One, not really a question, I guess it's more of a comment, but, because I don't expect to have an answer tonight. Most large organizations have a workplace wellness program, and I don't know if we have one. And it's time, if we do, to make sure that the mental health piece is very much a part of that. There are more diseases of the brain than there are of the body, and we need to recognize the mental health piece of this disease. We need to encourage people to go get help, and we need to have it readily accessible when they need it, and not just wait for them to ask for it, but be saying, we're coming, and so here's a day that everyone can get a mental health check. But, you know, wellness program is much larger than that. I don't expect to have an answer tonight, but I think it's something that, if you do have an answer, I'd like to hear it.
Well, we are working on that, Dirk, and to Beth's point, when we rolled out the Employee Assistance Program in February, think about what happened in March. So we did not get to put all of the emphasis on that we would have normally done for it to seem much more accessible to our employees. So we know we need to do a reboot of that, but it's not the answer to all. Like you said, there's a mental health aspect, there's a health and wellness aspect where we partner with people in the community to even offer discounted rates for exercise, nutrition, wellness that way. So our plan is to repackage all of that so that our employees can have one place where they go and they find that. And then internally, what are we doing? And that's what Beth and her committee are working with Sharon Hately on. We have counselors in our district who are licensed counselors. I think one of the comments on Beth's survey was we check in and we check out with our students. Who's checking in and checking out with us? The people that are going to know that are going to be closest to that teacher, that support staff, that administrator, and making sure we have a plan in place this group's working on so that they're being checked on, their needs are being met as well. Like you said, don't wait for them to come to us. We got to go to them.
I would just encourage you to incentivize the wellness piece.
Absolutely.
There's many ways to incentivize it.
Tying that to, I love that.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Beth. Great job.
Okay. That's something we're striving for. Indian education, we're doing okay, right? Tell us.
Good evening. Tonight, I would just want to give you an update on our Indian education program. We have this presentation has been presented to tribal leaders in January. We visit with tribal leaders every year for tribal consultation, meeting the ESSA requirements. And so just want you to kind of learn about what was shared with them so that you are well versed in how we are serving our Indian students in our district. Here are the two objectives for our Title VI grant application to the Office of Indian Education. It's to increase academic achievement and increase college enrollment. This has been our objective for about 4 years now, and well, even more so, but it's a little bit just our focus in Indian Ed. In 2020, we reported to the Office of Indian Ed that we had 2,071 students. This year, our student count has dropped from 2,071 to 1,853. Throughout this school year, as we have tried to make changes in serving our students, all students, whether they be at our school or virtual students, we have tried to make adjustments to services in a variety of ways. One, we started with a website sharing a lot of information to teachers and students and parents across the district. Easy access to lesson plans, easy access to activities, and anything that we wanted to share as far as cultural activities is posted here. This is our staff. We also wanted to share some information about, while we were learning about the needs of our families since March of last year, we were reaching out to tribes, reaching out to community programs in the area, and learning about what our tribal citizens could utilize for services that they might need to meet their needs. And so we created, part of this website shares the resources from tribal programs and tribal resources that are available. One of the big areas that we provide services is academic tutoring. Not only are we tutoring students in our schools, but virtual students, blended students, and students who have left our district as well.
And I want to pause you there just for a second and make sure you heard that. One of the great things, one Lucienne's doing, but we're also trying to do across the district, is when we have these opportunities for tutoring, whether a student is still with us or not, if they need help and we have the ability to help them just like this, we want them to come. So hats off to Lucy and her team for really doing this. She made mention when she was going through this, a lot of those students who maybe have decided to be homeschooled or gone to EPIC or wherever are still coming in for tutoring. So it made me feel good. We're still connected.
Yes. We learned in the fall that about 162 students transferred from our district to EPIC charter schools and other school educational opportunities. But in providing services to our kids and our families, we've had to learn how to reach out to those families whose students are virtual. And so we created this learning center, a partnership with the Norman First American United Methodist Church, where our families could bring their children here off campus, off site, and receive tutoring. We also had to provide transportation for a lot of these families. We went virtual in our tutoring program for all students, for students who wanted tutoring besides the outside of the school hours, but our virtual students reached out in a lot of ways. We had to learn how to provide tutoring online. This is the tribal partnerships that I was telling you about. If you go to our website, you'll learn about, by clicking on that link, it gives you access to a lot of tribal resources we have shared with our families. Here's an example. Just a reminder that we are still in we are going into our third year with this partnership with the Kiowa tribe. It's their language, culture, and revitalization program. Everything is online, been virtual since March of last year, and so that's still in place. All of the student services that we provide, we've had to adjust, and so we did so with school supplies. We serve over 800 students with school supplies since August. Cultural sharing opportunities moved virtual. This happened before actually everything happened, where we were inviting the Cheyenne Arapaho tribes into our schools, and they were at 4 schools before we had to stop. So we created virtual activities for our families, teaching them about an important activity and supplying them with supplies and getting that information and supplies to the students, whether it be at their site or working with their families to drop it off. The Battle of Books programs like this are still going on, but we will be giving our 4th graders, continuing to touch base with them, and a book to read for the summer out of the Sequoia book list. The Challenge Bowl is virtual this year, competing against other school districts across the state, and it's at the end of this month. The 2nd grade link, 7th grade link, part of the objective, increased college enrollment. This is what that all focuses on. Taking students to the campus was our goal, but this year we will adjust again and still provide the 2nd grade students with a coloring book on college preparation. 7th grade link, pictures from last year. Hopefully that we will get right back into it, but this will transition into an 8th grade transition program, helping students and families with what to expect in moving on to high school. High school student services is more individual. We work with students and families more closely in college prep and student opportunities. This was our college and career night last fall, the fall prior to that actually, inviting past graduates to come back and talk to our students about opportunities. We still have a study of the 39 tribes being offered in both high schools. And some of the pictures of our college trips, college opportunities, and still working with tribes. This was the Muskogee Creek Nation visiting some of our students last fall. A lot of this has been moved virtual, and so they're still visiting with our students, still visiting, but all virtual now. And last is our advanced placement focus. This is one focus that we'll talk about this evening. It encompasses the college prep effort from our program. It also we celebrate the successes of our students and their achievements academically. At the middle school, we share rewards to our students who have perfect attendance, who have earned A's, who have earned A's and B's. This is kind of like an extension of that as we are touching base with our students at the 2nd grade, 4th grade, 7th grade, and on to high school. We're pushing them to look at the possibilities of what they can become and achieve and desire to do. And this is one of those that leads to that, concurrent enrollment and advanced placement. When we started this initiative in 2007, we were given a challenge to help our district to infuse the AP classes with students of all colors, and one was for our program is to not only get our Indian students in the classrooms, but to help provide the resources to pay for tests, help families to understand the importance of advanced placement. And so over the years, we have grown in this area where in 2005, we started with 12 students from Norman High and 9 at Norman North going into advanced placement classes. In 2007, we had 66, and 2013-14, we had 120. And this is where we took the initiative to really take time to educate tribal education departments about the importance of advanced placement and their support through our district to help students and families pay for AP test fees. Since then, there are about 4 to 6 nations that have included AP test fees as part of their student services. So last year we had 136 students taking advanced placement classes. But the work is encouraging our students to follow through and take the exam. And so not only does the funds come from our program to support this, but we're also seeking and working, collaborating with tribes to make that happen. Any questions?
Well, thank you for this. I think, yeah, you're doing a wonderful job, and it's a difficult time for sure to communicate with everyone. But this is, could I ask about the tribes that do pay for this? Is it the ones I think it would be, or?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Although, you know, there are 73 tribal nations in our district represented. A lot of our students are from tribes. We're not living in
that
their
are not
tribal
centered
boundaries.
here, yeah, okay.
So most of the time, they can't access tribal services.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Cherokee Nation. Even though they're in Oklahoma and they're the largest nation, tribal nation in the U.S., they don't extend services like AP scholarships to their citizens in Norman because we're not in tribal jurisdiction.
Sure.
But they do make some allowances. They did send us some $1,000 a couple of years ago to help their citizens pay for AP test fees. It's the continued relationship we have to build and educate them about the needs of their citizens in our district.
So it's just not our 39 tribes that we know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for your work. Other,
I have a question about just general health care. Along those same lines, if kids are not, if they're not in tribes that have health clinics nearby, are they still served by their tribes in some way for health, just general health care, vaccinations and doctor visits and?
For the most part, yes. If a student in our district needs health care, if they are able to provide their certificate, degree of Indian blood, or tribal membership, they can access the nearest Indian health care clinic.
Okay.
A lot of our families do take advantage of that, but sometimes there's a long wait list. For example, when COVID hit, there was a lot of families that were turned away from the clinic in Shawnee. You had to be a current tribal member utilizing their services. It just varies, and so, but Indian families can access the Indian health services if they have tribal information.
okay.
I want to thank you, Lucianne, and share with the board, although Lucianne is doing incredible work with Norman Public Schools and Norman Public Schools students and her staff. Are you going to say something, Linda?
I was going to say, we didn't have this one either.
Thank you.
So if we could get that one sent to us, that would be good.
Oh, presentation. I
Yes.
thought you were saying we didn't thank her. You were pointing at the screen. So
Oh, yes, we'll thank her too.
it's that
but-
concussion I've gone through. But I do want to publicly thank Lucianne for her leadership across the state and the nation. She serves in leadership roles and leads all the other nations and schools, and I really appreciate the work you're doing. But also, Lucianne, this has also been a tough year for her, also personally, and so I want to thank her for also staying engaged for kids, and the work you're doing is making a huge difference, so really appreciate you.
Thank you.
I can tell you from personal experience that since she's been here, the program has grown in depth and width and everything.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh,
Have a great
can I
evening.
ask if you've seen News of the World, the movie? No. I
Well,
wonder-
yes, I have, halfway.
Halfway.
But I find myself taking naps a lot more. My children,
Okay.
my
Well,
sons get on to me because when they take me to the movie, they said, you don't want to take Mom, she's going to take an expensive nap.
Well, it seems to me that Kiowa's come off really, really well there, but, and,
Yeah, I've seen it halfway and then I fell asleep.
okay. Good. Well, I recommend it to anyone who hasn't, so, all right. Thank you. News of the World, Tom Hanks movie. Okay, summertime and the living is possible.
We could sing that together if you like. I'm going to go ahead and take this off because now that I'm getting a little bit wiser, apparently,
And
I'm going to be
gonna-
taking my glasses on and off or holding it like this.
And I'll apologize in advance. Apparently, we didn't preload any of these, so you'll be able to see all this stuff.
We did have a presentation, it just wasn't the right one. So
Oh.
we did have some.
Okay.
That's right. Well, thank you, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Millerino. I'm really excited to have the opportunity tonight. I know that I've shared with most of you individually, but to have an opportunity to publicly share the hard work that has been happening for a while now. A couple of things that I wanted to preface with is summer planning started way back last spring, where we really had to shift to remote, and we learned what works, what doesn't work. We listened to teachers, we listened to families, and we listened to administrators, and it's been an ongoing collaborative effort. While I know that we've talked a lot about COVID tonight, we're very aware of the effects and the impact that COVID has had on this. I just want to really articulate that we've been very aggressive in planning for ongoing learning opportunities for all families this summer. So I'm really excited. Want to get you in a little bit of summer mood. So we got to have a little sunshine and a little water to start the presentation. At the bottom is really our purpose, extending educational enrichment opportunities throughout the summer. And that means a few things. For one, we really worked to refine and to really think about the needs. And I'm eager to present and talk about the most robust summer program and ongoing learning opportunities that Norman has ever been able to organize and present to our families. I think so much so, I think we'll start expecting this every single year after this. Not only filling academic gaps, so that's a huge need, right? But this year we haven't been able to do enrichment like we usually do. The social emotional need of staying connected, not only to the school and to teachers, but to other students their age. And so, very excited to announce that all of these things will be offered. You'll also hear me talk a lot about some programs are tuition-based, but I'm here to make sure to communicate that that is not going to be a barrier. We have really worked hard to plan opportunities and programs, but take away barriers at the same time. So if it's a barrier of tuition, it's not going to be a barrier. We're going to meet that need and make sure students get what they need. As well as we have worked really intentionally to make sure that these opportunities layer and support, but they don't compete with one another. So they really complement one another, and I'll tell you a little bit more about when I go on to the next slide. So this is an overall view of our summer programs, and we did shift from summer school to summer programs because we've added some new ones. The first four are opportunities for elementary age students, and actually really five, and then the last two, of course, are middle school and high school students. So I'll go more into depth about those programs in the slides. So I'd like to start with summer elementary school. This is a focus on reading remediation. It's intensive, it's targeted. Students are selected for Summer Reading Academy by their what we call FAST. It's our reading assessment, universal screener. And these are students that are 1 or more years behind in their reading. We have expanded this. So typically it's been at one site, and we've served, I think 400 was the maximum students that we served. So we're really expanding that this year to 2 different elementary schools. 2 principals are working collaboratively together to extend that program. It is free to those students that are eligible. It is first come, first serve. And we hope to serve at least 700 students this summer. And I say that because we're expanding from 16 days to 23 days. There is a 3-week session in June and a 3-week session in July. Families are invited, and we encourage them to enroll in both sessions, but if that doesn't fit into their schedule, they can do either or. We'd rather have them some than not at all. And so we are expanding that. That's Monday through Thursday, and it's in the mornings.
Breakfast and lunch as well.
I'm so sorry. Say that again.
Transportation?
Transportation, yes, sir, is provided, and of course our summer meal program will provide breakfast and lunch for free. Great question. Oh, wait, I forgot. We're also expanding. We have offered this service to 4th and 5th grade student English language learners, and we're also expanding this to our 4th and 5th grade students that are on an IEP as well, so expanding there. This is brand new, so opposite. So in the morning, they can come and they can get intense reading remediation. Woo, it's hard to say that 3 times. And then they can stay. They can eat lunch. They have an opportunity to stay and get some enrichment in the afternoon. So Summer Enrichment Camp is open to any elementary age student that wants to enroll. It is tuition-based, but again, that's not going to be a barrier for us. It's Monday through Friday, and it's 1 to 4. We also talk about removing barriers. We know we have working families that might not be able to get there at 4 o'clock, so really having some extended care options for families as well. So this is kind of one of the things sometimes camp is hard. Working parents can't get them to and get them from, so we're hoping to really include students that may have never had a camp experience before. We're really excited about that. Questions about enrichment camp? Should be a lot of fun. I will tell you, it's not on this slide. We're accepting proposals from Norman Public Schools teachers right now. Anything from any fine arts, theater, singing, instruments, dancing, to sports and recreation, so they're getting moving and get their heart pumping, and of course STEM and lots of other areas. So we're excited to be offering that to our students. Camp Invention is a STEM-based day camp that we have had the past 3 years. Last year, of course, was virtual. It'll happen at Wilson, and this is 1 week in between reading and summer camp, the June session, July session. So there's exactly 1 week in between those sessions that if families want to enroll, they can enroll. It's 9 to 3:30 with extended care option as well. And so again, a fantastic opportunity. These are highly engaging, and we've had lots of good feedback from parents and teachers on Camp Invention.
Can you touch briefly on the tuition-based and scholarships and so forth?
We can. For Camp Invention specifically?
All of them.
All of them I can. So let me go back real quick. Right here, Summer Enrichment Camp is $75 a week per child. Of course, we're working on getting donations and scholarships set. But again, regardless if we have funds or not, if a student needs it, a family needs it, we want to provide that for them.
And that, yeah, she did not say it's $75 a week.
A week.
Yeah.
Where everything else is, if you go somewhere else, it's 3 times that amount or more. So,
Really wanting to make it an affordable option. And then Camp Invention's a little bit more expensive. The full tuition is $235. However, there are discounts and again, scholarships are available. I know that we have some Title II funds secured as well for families and for students to enroll in that if they can't afford it.
Thank you.
Summer Care, NPS Summer Care is actually piloted last year with our employees that worked during the summer through COVID. It will be located in Eisenhower. It is tuition-based as well. So this year we're expanding and we're providing to all employees and some information about that. Because we're expanding summer school and we have summer enrichment camp and we've got all these opportunities for our NPS employees to work in the summer. And we also want to provide a service for their kiddos by not taking away spots in some of the other programs. So being able to provide them a service, but also continuing to have open spaces in all our other programs for students that are not employees' children. It is tuition-based, and it is week by week. It's Monday through Thursday with options to drop in on Friday, and that's for elementary age students. Extended School Year, our ESY, is our service that's provided by our Special Services Department for students who are on an individualized education program, and they have IEP goals that are written specifically that need to continue to attend school throughout the summer. And they have also expanded this program. Typically it's been Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for 16 to 17 days, and they have expanded to mirror the elementary school program. So it's going to be Monday through Thursday for 23 days this summer. And again, this program is free at no cost to students. High school has both remediation or credit recovery as well as acceleration for credit advancement. And we're happy to offer, last year everything was virtual, and there were some students last summer in credit recovery that was virtual as well as this year. It really struggled, so we want to go back and offer an in-person option for those credit recovery students, as well as an online option for those students that can't come in, or maybe they have a reason, maybe they're traveling or doing some other things that they still need to recover credits. Credit recovery is for Norman students only. There is an option, we'll work with out-of-district students, that's an online option only, but our in-person, we are going to really reserve that for our Norman students. It is tuition-based, sliding scale, but again, we're not going to let tuition be a barrier. If there is a student in need, we're going to invite them in and come on, we'll get them set up. That will be located at Irving, and just wanted to point out, we have increased the counselors to be able to not only handle enrollment and transcription at the end, but really to meet with students and really talk to them about their pathway, their college and career pathway. So if they're in credit recovery, they're behind and they're not on track to graduate with their cohort. And so really talking about that plan. So what are we recovering in the summer, and what's the plan the next fall, the next spring? We want to prevent them from having to have summer school the following summer. So really looking at that long-term plan through graduation and beyond, and really help these kiddos one-on-one. So excited to increase the counselors for our high school in-person credit recovery. Credit advancement is all online. Students can take a variety of courses to get ahead. It's open to in-district as well as out-of-district students. It is tuition-based. We are using the platform of Edgenuity. which is what we've used this year. And progress is monitored by the summer school principal, which is Sherry Gately, as well as the counselors. I'm really excited to talk about, so those are programs that are in place for students in need or students that qualify or are eligible, but we have lots of other students in the district and families. So NPS Splash, to go with my water and my sun, and we have to think of fun things in the summer, is summer practice and learning activities for school and home. This is for students. They can be students that are enrolled in summer school, elementary, middle school, high school, enrichment camp, and still take advantage of these. Or it can be option for families that need a little bit more flexible option. Maybe they don't want to take summer school. Maybe they're traveling. This will be asynchronous or online activities that are available for everyone. And it's three things. Remediation, so if they need to close some gaps. It's going to be retention of any skills that they had this year, and acceleration, so they can excel to the next grade level. We're very excited about all of these. They're currently under development with our content coordinators as well as our innovative learning coaches and teachers. Also, this summer we have our learning bus that will be, we're working now on mapping and schedules, and this is a bus for all ages. It's not only books and games, but it's also STEM activities, and we're real excited to make sure that our community and our students can access our learning bus. All of these are free of charge, and it's an option, again, for all families. Let's see if I missed anything on my highlights. I haven't been looking at my paper. Let's see. Okay, I think that's good. Questions right now?
She was more excited in here than when we sat one-on-one with her,
I was
wasn't
going to say, that's a lot.
It's a lot. Well, we're not done yet. And there's more. So just really looking ahead. So that's a look at our summer, but there's a lot more going on that I just wanted to communicate and articulate this evening. So right now we have launched and we have currently are enrolling for next school year. I want to talk a little bit about it. Parents can access this through our webpage. But I wanted to tell you and remind you that every year we look at our enrollment process, our pre-enrollment process. We take feedback from families, from staff members, from administrators, what worked, what didn't work. Last year, I mean, with everything being online, it was the first year we had to have contactless everything through the summer. And so we're used to doing some online registration, but we had in-person enrollment confirmation. It was really difficult, and I will tell you, the process wasn't perfect last year. There was a lot of room for growth. So we really looked at that. We've really refined our process for this year. We've really streamlined it and made it a lot easier. It's a two-step process for families right now. And again, we've really thought about, with feedback from principals, from teachers, from Janet Gordon with our Spanish-speaking or non-English-speaking families. What else can we do? What other barriers can we remove to make sure that enrollment and pre-enrollment is friendly, user-friendly, and welcomes people rather than creates another barrier? So there are lots of options this year. Of course, online is the way we want to go, and everything's got to be digital because of our student management system. But schools are working individually with families. And the reason why is they know their families best. They know which families need interpreters. They know which families may need a paper copy rather than a digital copy. They're inviting families in. They're also reaching out to families that have left and making sure they have information, inviting them back in. So we're really customizing and personalizing, as well as the broad pushes, right? We get the email of, hey, don't forget, enrollment's now. So we're really trying for this broad district communication all the way down to the site-specific communication. One great example is last week, Jackson Elementary had a book fair / pre-enrollment night. They had interpreters on site. They scheduled appointments, and anyone, whether you are English speaking or non-English speaking, you are welcome to come and get help pre-enrolling. And it was a great success. I was very thankful. But every site is looking at their families and their community and determining what do they need to do to help their families. Let's see. In addition, I mentioned new families or families that have left. We really want to bring them back home. And, you know, the best way to do that, the district can say publicly, and we have, and we will continue, and I'll say it now, we want them to come back to Norman Public Schools because we believe that we can take care of them best. But that personal connection, they're really connected to their community school. And so principals and teachers all year long have been reaching out and continue to reach out to those families, inviting them back, asking the needs. Some have already come back. Some have said no thank you, and some are still thinking about it. So we continue to provide pre-enrollment, summer enrollment. We'll continue to provide to those students that used to be, but we also want to come back home. And then last but not least, anyone that has questions, whether it's summer program, enrichment, pre-enrollment, if anyone has questions, they need help, whether they know how to access it, they need translation, whatever they need, we highly encourage them not only to reach out to the school site, but they can also call here to Student Service, and we'll be more than happy to help them with anything that they need. And I think that was it.
And Holly, to add one thing to that, we are sending out, if we haven't already, a message to everyone in regards to the summer programs. It's on the
Yes, sir.
website, but
yes, sir.
And in our conversations, we're even pulling in addresses of students who aren't currently active, if we have active email addresses. So we're real cautious about that because it can be spamming. A lot of people, if they're in California, we don't know if an email sometimes is where it's going. So we're very selective because we don't want to frustrate people. Our current parents sometimes get upset with the number of emails that go out. But really trying to, for these summer programs and in pre-enrollment, but more so the summer programs, to let people know we're still here. We have things for you, whether you're actively enrolled or not.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you very much. And I'll end on my favorite slide. Just think sun and water.
I love it. That's me too, Holly. And this is incredible. And I think what you've done is fantastic. And I hope there's so much excitement from our parents to our students and also teachers. I hope the teachers get this and are excited to be a part of it, and I almost hope that there's a waiting list for teachers that really want to participate, but I know. So are you feeling from the teachers?
I am. I've received a lot of positive feedback, a lot of interest, and so I'm very excited. I think they're excited too.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Holly. Thank you.
Yes, thanks. I cannot believe that we're going to talk about the calendar again, but I think this is something that happens all the time, right?
I know. I think, Mr. President, Dr. Miliarina, members of the board, I wanted to say I come to you annually, but it feels like I said I come to you weekly to talk about the calendar. This really is an annual request that I have to do before September 15th of the ensuing year. In 2009, the legislature set a minimum for schools. Through our accreditation process, we either have to meet 180 days of instruction or 1,080 hours of instruction each year. And we actually come to you and ask for the option of doing hours, and we typically have built our schedule around hours since that legislation passed. This is a really confusing concept for those that don't work in the calendar a lot. Why do hours instead of days? Well, we already go above the minimum for the amount of hours we go to school daily. The minimum is 6, and that's before you back out lunch. So even after backing out lunch and breakfast, Norman Public Schools goes 6.25 hours a day. We want our kids here, we want them with us, we want them learning. In addition to that, we have a minimum requirement that we do 30 hours of professional development each year. And 12 hours of parent-teacher conferences. And all of that at minimum has to equal 1,080. I will tell you in Norman Public Schools over the past 6 years, we average 1,095 hours, and that's everything from 1,081 one year to over 1,100 another year. The other advantage to that, and boy did we feel this year, we always stipulate on our calendar what holidays, non-instructional days, we could take back if necessary for inclement weather or for an emergency situation. But with additional time, we have the grace of dipping into the additional time before we ever have to alter the school calendar. Where did you get those 5 additional days at the beginning of the year? We took that out of our pot of additional hours for our teachers to work on learning management systems. What did you do when you had an October ice storm? We dipped back in to that pot of additional time. Same deal in February. We did have to add 5 minutes, hopefully pretty painlessly, for our families and for our teachers in January. We are going to end this year at 1,081 hours. COVID, woohoo. But that is just a picture I wanted to paint for why hours are to our advantage and why I never go into this much detail, but for the benefit of all, we come to you this evening to ask you to give us the option of operating in hours.
Thank you. I will make a motion to approve the 1,080-hour calendar option for the 21-22 school year.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Dan Snell.
Yes.
Cindy Nasher.
Yes.
Linda Sexton.
Yes?
Dirk O'Hara.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
you.
Brenda, tell us about lunch.
You don't talk to me about dinner.
I will.
So we want dinner now.
I know, it's like, what are we doing about eating?
It's beyond dinner.
Hey, I'm bringing for you tonight an action item for our lunch price meal increase.
Meal crease. That's a new one.
Lunch price meal increase. Get it out of my mouth in a minute. The Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act of 2010 stipulated that school districts need to be looking at their price they charge for a paid lunch compared to what the average is, the difference between a reimbursement from the feds for a free lunch and for a paid lunch. That difference between that we get reimbursed on a free versus paid is $3.25. Currently, our lunch prices are $2.80 at the elementary and $2.95 at the secondary. So we're under that required $3.25 per lunch. However, they allow us each year to increase our price at a minimum of $0.10 each year to work towards closing this gap on how much there is between the free and the paid. So our proposal this evening is to raise our lunch prices, that minimum $0.10. That'll take our elementary lunch to $2.90 next year and our secondary lunch to $3.05.
Brenda, remind me how much kids paid for lunch in Norman this year?
And I will remind you that this year, all of our students ate free lunch and breakfast from the feds. They've made that an offering for all of our students across the state this year. Wish we could do it every year.
Sure.
But we did have a situation this year where all of our students were able to eat free.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the 10-cent price increase for school lunches for 21-22 school year.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Dan Snell.
Yes.
Cindy Nasher.
Yes.
Linda Sexton.
Yes?
Dirk O'Hara.
Yes.
Thank you, Brenda. Is there new business?
No new business.
No new business. Administrative staff report.
Thank you. I do have a few things I would like to throw out there. First of all, I want to go back to the legislation, not the legislation, but the State Board of Education. And I appreciate you giving me and Norman Public Schools the authority to follow that and pursue that and take what actions we need. It is really important for all of our teachers and all of our students that those tens of millions of dollars make their way to our classrooms, not to other places, because I do believe that that would be a precedent setting in other areas if this continues to move forward. It's almost like where public schools are slowly getting suffocated, or the funding just slowly, inch by inch, gets taken away. And I do believe there's an end goal there, and that's what we have to stand up against. So I want to thank you for supporting Norman Public Schools in this and all other school districts as we move forward to fight that. With that said, though, a lot of great things going on here real quick. You saw a bunch of our teachers here, rookies and Teacher of the Year finalists. In a couple of weeks, we'll celebrate the District Teacher of the Year at the Celebration of Excellence. Really excited to say that we'll be having that at the Embassy Suites. I appreciate Beth and Alicia and everybody who's been working on it. We'll have a capacity at right around 200 people, so it'll be one of our largest celebrations in recent times. So really looking forward to that, where everybody's going to get there and we'll be able to celebrate the great things going on. So that is something good. But then also, we missed it this evening. There's a crosstown clash softball game that went on while we were in here. Hated that, but don't know who won. I'll find out later at the Norman High School softball complex. Coming up soon, we do have a lot of fine arts kicking in. You should have received some information today from me regarding virtual art shows in April, a Norman North musical, and just their orchestra contests, or not contests, but concerts going on are starting up. So just a lot of great things with students involved, and obviously all of our spring sports are fully in full action. The other thing that I wanted to bring to everybody's attention is not something that we've thrown out there publicly. I know we're working behind the scenes. Our health departments at all our schools, our nurses, that was the air conditioner. I saw you look. Our nurses, Beth Roberson, have continually worked hard to provide for our teachers and our students. And coming up in April, end of April, middle of May, at both of our high schools, we'll be offering vaccinations for those 16 and over to get there. Pfizer, I believe, Justin, is that the Pfizer? Don't know the exact dates just yet, but once again, just trying to continue to provide that opportunity to our own. So really want to thank everyone who is working on that. And with that, just a really exciting time. It was so great I know we've been here for 2 hours. The first hour, though, wasn't that just incredible? Getting to see people and celebrate, and not just seeing names on the screen and hoping that they're watching it somewhere in YouTube land. So really excited, and appreciate the board's support in allowing us to get to this point. And I will say publicly, I cannot wait to get rid of these darn things. But we're going to continue to follow CDC and do things in a smart way and take guidance from medical experts as we move forward. So you mentioned Dirk's support and work during this COVID time. He camped out in my office a lot as we were going through a lot of this, and I really do appreciate your help in these uncharted waters, trying to figure out what was right when there wasn't a right. So thank you for that. And that's my report.
Thank you. Board of Education report?
Anybody going before me? I'm going to be a few minutes, so you'll have to bear with me.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, you've got it written down.
Oh yeah. I won't speak all this, but yeah, it's in my mind anyway. So, in a vein of transparency, as I heard so often in the last month and 2 months, just wanted to discuss a few things. So, we make a lot of decisions up here, and a lot of them are very mundane. Approving contracts that have been approved for 30 years, sometimes brand new contracts, doing things that are on consent agenda that most people don't want to know about. Every now and then we have a few issues that raise the passion of our constituents, and I will just say now, I will do a better job in the future of when those issues come up, I will let you know why I am doing what I am doing and why I feel the way I feel. So if that's important to the public, and it is, then I will do a better job in that. Emails and email responses. When those passion items come up, we get lots of emails, sometimes hundreds of emails at a time. And if you are passionate about your view and just want to state the way you feel, many times there will not be a response from me, or it might be a simple thank you, or we appreciate your email. That doesn't mean that we're not reading every single one of them. That doesn't mean that it doesn't make a difference. We want your interaction there, but if you want a response and you are going to be flexible and that you have the ability to compromise and you're going to be kind whether we agree or disagree, I will happily engage with you and spend time with you by email, by phone, or in person. If you're stuck on your point of view and that's just your point of view, I don't plan on spending any time other than saying thank you for your point of view. About emails and coming to the board. We get a lot of emails that are the first response from people. And can you imagine if you were frustrated at Norman Regional Hospital and first thing you did was email their board, or at OU and you emailed the trustees, or you're dealing with a nonprofit in this town and they did something you didn't like and you grabbed a board member and started telling them, what you didn't like about it or what you did like about it. There are people running these organizations that are experts in what they do. This is over $100 million business with 1,900 employees. And when you don't give a teacher a chance to respond, or the principal a chance to respond, or the multiple layers of administration a chance to respond and get an answer to you, and you're going over their head, it is disrespectful to them. And give them a chance. They are experts in what they do. And if that doesn't work, you have Dr. Migliorino here who you can contact at any time. And if that doesn't work, that's when it's appropriate to come to the board. If you want to let us know earlier, many times we are going to refer you to the person who's the expert. I'll speak for myself, but I'm not an expert in busing, child nutrition, curriculum. I mean, I can go on and on the list I'm not an expert in. Now, if you want me to learn it, I can do it with you, alongside you, if you're a constituent and you want us to work through it together. But if you're not getting where you need to get and you're still frustrated, or you're still wanting things to change, or you've got a passion for it after you've gone through all those layers, please feel happy to email the board, because we want to solve your issues. We want to be a part of what you do. But we are not the best first stop, and we're not passing you off in a negative way. We're trying to get you to the person that can answer your question the quickest, the best, and the most efficient way. Because we get so many emails, then that leads me to we must not be as good at customer service as what we need to be. And that word, I don't know why, raises the hackles of people in education. And so please, if you feel the need to change it to constituent relations or client communication, give it an education name. But the theory of working together with the person that you're serving, or that we may need to have a customer service mentality internally with our peers and externally with our students and families, is a very important concept, because we are not in a vacuum anymore. We don't have just a couple of small private schools around us. We have Epic, we have more charter schools, we have more private schools. The competition's not going to shrink, it's going to increase. And our ability to deal with families and students and show them why we are the best is the most important thing we can do now more than ever, because our budget depends on it. It's our number one revenue generator, is how many students that we have. So does this mean that the customer's always right? No. All those concepts that people are afraid of. I mean, education is supposed to be creative, and we're supposed to be the center of new things and new ideas. So let's not be afraid to take ideas from outside education, run them through an educational filter, and make them what we need them to be in this realm. We are not for-profit business. That's very much understood, but we can certainly do better at how we relate to all of our constituents. And I'm not just pointing the finger. I'm saying I can do better, administration can do better, all the way down through our teachers and support staff. We can be better. I found out on social media that I'm not for students or teachers. That was interesting. I found out I'm not fit to be on the board because I'm not on social media. I found out that because I look at all risks that students face, and I'm not just COVID, that I should be embarrassed. And these are just the things that I can repeat. It's one reason why I'm not a fan of Facebook, besides the fact that it's the largest private invasion that we've ever had in the history of the world, as they map every click, know what every application on your phone, the information in all of them, and then they gobble that up and batch it together and sell it to people to advertise and, come after you. But what I've found is that it's a horrible form of communication. It's fantasy land, it's fake. And why do we want to use that as a form to better inform ourselves? My wife had threats, my businesses were dug into. That's fine, do what you need to do, but what was the purpose? How did that help you determine who needed to be sitting in this seat up here today? Why is it a bad form of communication? 55% of when we communicate is body language. 38% is our tone. That leaves 7% of communication is our actual words. And when you're on Facebook, you're using 7% of what you have to communicate with. Why would I want to do a communication system that only lets 7% work? That's my videos, that's my getting on the phone, and I want to challenge us to go back to the days when we do sit down and have coffee, when we, social distance with mask, all of those things. Let's be safe, or pick up the phone or FaceTime, because that's how you're going to effectively solve issues and communicate. This is part of a bigger problem, and I'll close here, but we've got a cultural problem in Norman. The silent majority has got to stand up in this town, because the alt-right and the far left are taking things over. And us purple people in the middle are just watching it go by. And we are being divided now more than we ever have been. This is a wonderful, wonderful community. And hate has no home here. But yet it does. I can't tell you the number of houses that had that sign in their yard that spoke to me in a way that their body language and their tone told me exactly that they were about hate. Water hoses squirted. Get out of my street. Things that just shocked me. There were a wonderful high percentage of wonderful people that were for and against me in the election that I was so proud to communicate with. But there were many people who espoused hate, and we have got to get rid of that. We have got to just say no. And putting a sign in your yard doesn't mean that you're against it. It's your actions that show us whether you're against it or not. So, by the way, whoever borrowed my backpack on the Thursday night before the election out of my vehicle in the middle of the night, I would gladly pay you back to get that back, or pay you to get my information back and some of my kids' stuff out of there, especially my laptop. But got some pictures on there I can't get back. Why am I saying all this? If people attack me and my wife, my businesses over a school board election, I'm saying it because our kids are watching. Why are we seeing this in the schools? Because they see it at home. They watch this election. I can't tell you how many kids I asked me, why are people saying that? I didn't have a good answer. And we can do better. We can stand up, and when somebody does that we know on social media, we can say that's not right. Stick to the facts, stick to reality. Don't exaggerate. And if all else fails, just don't be mean. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna end this day with the way I started it when I took over my presidency, which is please be flexible, please compromise, and above all else, just be kind. It's really, really very easy. So, sorry it takes so long, but I will do better at being more transparent, whether some people like it or they do not like it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dirk. Do you want to talk? I decided when you were reelected, and even before, that I would announce publicly, you may not know this, but I have nominated you for the All-State School Board, which is an honor that a few of us have had. And it's, you know, there are lots of people from across the state who get nominated, and you might not get it. But it is a cool thing, and there's a better plaque than we give out. Anyway, but I was able, and I think Nick wrote a wonderful letter about you too, to say that you have been a great help, especially in this horrible year with your healthcare background and so on. So I appreciate your thoughts on this, and yes, I think I said, we said in our little thing for the Citizens Advisory Committee, we may vote unanimously on this board, but we are not satisfied with what we're doing. And we think we can all do better, especially in the public facing of our people. So I appreciate your having run and being willing to serve another incredible 5 years, longer than the President of the United States, I always say. Anything else?
No. And I'm sorry that you endured that. It really hurts my heart to sit here and hear those, because I too, Facebook is not my cup of tea, but unfortunately because of my business, I'm kind of put in the position to, but that's the sad thing, and I hope we do all find grace, because that's exactly the word that needs to be said every day, is where's the grace? And we're up here for no reason other than for our kids. And if nobody gets that, I don't understand. And our teachers, clearly, but I'm sorry. And unless there's anything else, I would like to make a motion, if that's okay, to go into executive session to discuss the superintendent's contract for the term commencing on July 1st, 2021, and ending on June 30th, 2024, as listed on the agenda.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Dan Snell.
Yes.
Cindy Nasher.
Yes.
Linda Sexton.
Yes?
Dirk O'Hare.
Yes.
We are in executive session. Thank you.
Where's the rest of it? Here, that's yours.
That's Chad's, actually.
Oh, well.
But whatever.
Is there a motion to return to open session?
So moved.
Hearing no second.
Oh, second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Dan Snell.
Yes.
Cindy Nasher.
Yes.
Linda Sexton.
Yes?
Dirk O'Hare.
Yes.
Okay, here is the statement of the executive session minute. The board convened in executive session pursuant to Executive Session Authority 25 Oklahoma Statute paragraph 307, B1 and 7, to discuss the superintendent's contract for the term commencing on July 1st, 2021, and ending on July 30th, 2024. The board was joined in executive session by Superintendent Nick Migliorino. No other matters were discussed, and no votes were taken while in this closed session. This concludes the minute of the executive session.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Please. Yes.
That we adjourn.
Oh,
Second.
no.
No, do we have to?
No, we
oh,
have
there's
to,
more?
we're going to vote to approve or disapprove the contract
Oh.
as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Dan Snell,
Yes.
Cindy Nasher,
Yes.
Linda Sexton,
Yes.
Dirk O'Hare.
Yes.
Okay, now I make a motion that we adjourn.
And now I'll say second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Dan Snell,
Yes.
Cindy Nasher.
Yes.
Linda Sexton,
Yes.
Dirk O'Hare.
Yes.
We are adjourned.